Hey everybody, how's it going? This is, as promised in the last video, a video about my new to me 2006 Ford Ranger. It has the 2.3 liter inline 4, 5-speed automatic transmission. It's a short bed, 2-wheel drive. It is an XLT, which I guess means the cloth seats and the carpeted floor. I just finished cleaning the seats and the carpet. It came out okay. There's some burn marks over there. This was smoked in before. I bought this back in July. Yeah, back in July, after 2 hours after selling the Taurus. Yeah, and I'm just getting it on the road now. I still have to take it in for inspection. It has been inspected, but it only passed the safety. It has not passed emissions yet, so this is a 60-day sticker. It has been kind of a nightmare with this truck. So, it was owned by a pest removal company in Manchester, New Hampshire. And I found it on Craigslist for $1,000 under the auto parts section. And I looked at it and I'm like, I bet I could get that. And it said in the ad needs a fuel pump. I'm like, I bet I could get that for $600. Throw a fuel pump in it, in 2 tires, maybe anything else little that it needs, and flip it for $1,200 inspected. Make a couple $100 there. Well, that's not the case. I went down, looked at it, and not running. And everything I looked at on the frame looked fine from what I could see. That's the key here, from what I could see. This here, not so great. But it's clean here. And, a tailgate can be replaced easy enough. This dent wasn't as big. This dent here, this part was here, this part was not. I put that there, and I put that there. 2 new tires in the front were on it. And the frame rails to me looked good. Most everything looked good on it. Good enough, rather. So I offered him $600, and he took it. I should have given him 3 or 4 instead. First problem was, and I was smart that day, I took the Suburban with me in case I needed it. First problem was, not running. I just bought it. I called AAA. The mistake I made was I said that I had just bought the vehicle and it wasn't running. And they told me, oh, well, it's not considered a roadside emergency. You'll need to make other arrangements. Oh, great. So, I had the Suburban with me. I called up a U-Haul location in Manchester and arranged for an auto transport. They were very accommodating, and I picked it up half an hour later. I went back to where this truck was, and by myself, not running, I loaded it onto that trailer. There was a slight downhill slope. Slight downhill slope, and I had some big ratchet straps with me. I hooked them to the bumper, and I cranked it up. Once it got, to a certain point, I'd throw it in park, undo it, do it again. It took over an hour in 97-degree weather and humid out to get this thing loaded on the trailer. Not fun. I brought it home, parked it at my neighbor's house because he's a mechanic, and was like, we'll go through this sometime and figure it out. Then I think I brought the trailer. No, I didn't bring it here. There was one I brought here to rinse it off before returning it, but I don't think it was that one. I brought that back to Manchester to drop it off half an hour before they closed for the day. And then I had to run back home. So it was a long day. I'm working 2 jobs, so I didn't have time for a while to do anything with this. And my neighbor was busy, but he's good friends with one of my good friends. So, he said as long as we were both there, we could mess around with this. We took the bed off to replace the fuel pump. Typically, I drop the tank, but I was like, you know what? I'll just take the bed off of this one. A little different. Well, we got the bed off, which wasn't too bad. Snapped a couple of the bolts, but I was planning on replacing all the hardware anyway. And I had some new hardware, which I made a video about previously, complaining about it. So got the bed off, found that this cross member that goes here was rotted, but I couldn't see it because of the spare tire being in the way. Like, oh, great. And then we also got it on the lift too in his garage. There was a crack in the frame over here. Oh, great. But I'm still thinking, well, maybe I can get some use out of it and not lose that money that I've spent on it so far. Gets better. The fuel pump, which is right about here, has 5 ports that come out of it. The nipples, I'm going to refer to them as. Well, the new style quick connects on Fords, I can't figure out how to undo them. So I snapped every single one of those 5 on the old fuel pump when I removed it. So I dropped my new fuel pump in, which was a $30 eBay thing. And then I towed this again to my regular mechanic because nobody had time to work on this, and I certainly don't have the means to be clawing that shit out. And it was looking like I was going to have to replace all the fuel lines because I couldn't find either a repair kit for the lines that are here or any information on alternatives on how to get that thing connected. Oh, the light's on. Is it? Yep. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna get this on the road. Those guys can deal with it. So I told this again, and on that same day, that's when I picked up the HHR that was in a previous video. And yeah, so I got 2 uses out of the trailer that day, which was nice, because then, it's only $30 a vehicle instead of 60 or whatever it costs to rent it. They put the new fuel pump in, and I had kept the bed at home on my trailer. And for the taillights to drive it home, I don't know, I cobbled them on here somehow and drove it that way, which worked. But I'm really trying to do something to get ahead with my vehicles, because they owe me a lot of money. This one included now. So 10 o'clock at night, when I gotten home from work or whatever I was doing, I don't remember what. That's when I'm trying to wrestle this stupid bed on by myself in the dark, with a ditch on one side of me, a shed on the other, and the bed was behind the truck on the trailer. And I think the Suburban might have been getting the water pump done on it at that time, so I couldn't move the trailer even to put it somewhere else. So, long story short, wrestling it on and having to move the truck once or twice, I got it on, but I didn't realize it. I had broken, on the new fuel pump, mind you, I had broken one of those nipples off again. So I brought it down to my regular shop to have them inspect it, plus the hardware wasn't cooperating. That was the night I made that video bitching about it. And I had them run the bolts in with power tools, and they also put the filler neck where, it belongs. And run it through for inspection. I needed a ball joint. I wanted them to put 2 snow tires on it. Cheapest snow tires they could buy, Yokohama's. What else? A couple alignment, a couple other little things. I think it came to like $300, something like that. So I'm thinking, all right, that's not too bad. Oh, and the welding. So I get it back, and I figured out I broke that thing. Like, oh, fuck. How did I figure that out? The first night I was driving this. First night. I had the bed loaded up with stuff, and I was on my way somewhere, and some jerk cut me off, or they were trying to cut me off, so I jumped on it to rocket past them. This thing is a little rocket. I got past them, and a few minutes later, it died on the side of the road. So I cycled the key a couple times, built up fuel pressure, and then it started up and ran fine after that. But then the check engine light did come on. So it's like, all right, well, it seems like it's a fuel issue. And I was smelling gas, too, the entire time. So I brought it here to my work. I had it in the lift bay. I had some ratchet straps on the bed. It took like 2 hours to get the bed off, because the hardware that I used was so bad, and like you couldn't put it in without cross-threading the shit out of it. I think these rear bolts came out, the front bolts came out, but the 2 middle ones I had to drill and cut out, and it was just a pain in the ass. But I got the bed off. And I looked immediately and saw my problem. There's a vent line that runs along the filler neck, and that's the one that broke. So I was like, well, fuck this. Between the hardware being screwed up and that, I'm just going to take it back to the mechanic because I don't have time to deal with it. I brought it back. I had to pick up my other truck anyway from having something dumb done to that. And this was there for 2.5 weeks. Well, in that time, somebody took the bed off, didn't put it back on. It rained like crazy. Water got in the tank. And it's still, like, it's running good, but it still sputters from time to time. When I picked it up after he told me that, I was really pissed, and I don't want to go back there now. But yeah, I still have to for the inspection. But yeah, they said, oh, we got all the water out of the system. Actually, no, you didn't. That was the biggest bill yet. And yeah, he says, I feel partly responsible for well, yeah, you are responsible for the water getting in there because there was no water in there when I dropped it off. I had a full tank of gas. First, when I had filled it up, what was the final clue that there was a problem in the first place, other than sputtering and dying on the side of the road, was that night I was low on gas when that happened. And I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe it's just because I'm low on gas. I'm at the fuel station, filling up. I get to, 15 gallons and change, and it's pissing out on the ground. Yeah. So it wasn't shutting the gas pump off. But anyway, I'm not happy because when I dropped it off to him, I had about half a tank of gas because I drove it a little more after that. But I didn't drive it through any puddles because we were in a drought at the time. And after dropping it off, that's when it rained and screwed everything up. I don't know where the water would be. Yeah, I get hiccups for some reason. I don't know where the water would be in the system if everything was done that they said they did, other than the fuel filter. Which I replaced the fuel filter, so I want a new one, and I want them to put it in, but I don't want to wait a week and a half for them to do the damn thing. So I'll probably just end up doing it myself and having trouble with those stupid connectors again. But, yeah, other than the water and the fuel, this thing really does get up and go. I've gone through 2 tanks of gas now. I've put about 800 miles on it. It has a clean interior. Well, I mean, not the nicest looking, but clean interior. I did all the plastics the other day, and the windows are good enough for now. I might do the windshield at some point, but we are at 171,731. Okay, so I put almost 900 miles on it. It's got a nice gauge cluster. I like that it has a tack. I like that all the lights are in one spot. Speedometer, I find it a little awkward to read, but not too bad. Oh, the thermostat, I had that replaced. It's got a CD player, AM, FM. Air conditioning works, blows ice cold. I put a strobe light on it. It has the books with it. All that shit on the dash is just because I took it out of here to clean all the cloth stuff. Steering wheel's got some wear on it, but, not bad. It is nice with the carpet, and there's also insulation underneath it on the floor. Underneath the truck, there is insulation on the floor pan, so it makes for a much quieter ride. Yeah, not too bad. So the plan with this, to make my money back on it. Oh, I gotta show you under the hood. Plan with this to make my money back on it is to use it for food delivery for DoorDash. Because if you think about it, it being a quick little truck, great visibility, for the rear, so you don't have to depend on mirrors all the time, with no blind spots. You can park it anywhere. Park it anywhere. It's good on gas, great visibility to allow you to park it anywhere. Why not? So everything I earn, every day that I use it for DoorDash is going to be $3. And then on top of that, every delivery that I make, if I get, say it's a little bucket of Chinese food and I'm just bringing it across the street, which does happen, especially with COVID going on, it'll be whatever DoorDash gives you for it, which for my friend's case, it was $3. Well, that $3 is going to go towards what the truck owes me. This battery, it needed a battery. The battery was old and junk. This one came out of the silver truck. Of course, I saved it because it was brand new. But this is a Big Bad 2.3. I'll just start it up real quick, I suppose. And then we'll wrap this up. I've rambled quite a bit. I'm not going to run it too long because I'm not leaving yet, so. But listen to it run. Runs like a sewing machine. Anyway, folks, I'm going to call that a video for now. And thank you all very much for watching. Feel free to leave comments if you haven't, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.